Okay. Um, we're gonna touch on a subject lightly today, and God willing, I'm gonna go through and produce some study questions and get those sent out. And on Sunday, we will kind of dive a little deeper into them once I can clear all the Arabic terminology and whatnot. Um, if you have your Holy Qur'an, the Maulana Muhammad Ali translation, if you could go to the introduction, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen just in case individuals don't have the Quran handy. It's going to be under the section called Life After Death, and it's called the Book of Deeds. This, God willing, will be put into a full-blown Zoom PowerPoint. And between now, within the next day or two, I'm gonna work on getting study questions so we can actually turn this into kind of like what we did with the minister's video, correct? Everyone that has the study questions from the minister's video.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna do the same thing for this. I was blessed to see a lot in this. Does everyone have the Holy Quran handy?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm gonna in going through this, I use the same principles that I use with regards to writing mathematical proofs, so that I try to make sure I do my checks and balances to make sure everything corresponds. And the scripture says, I think it's 2 Thessalonians chapter 5, I think it's chapter 5, verse 21. It says, prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. So we should prove everything. And so I use mathematical proof theory when I'm studying these subjects. And I want to begin with the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And if you've heard these words before, just bear witness, make sure my receipts are correct. Minister Farrakhan has said that each one of us is a book. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone ever heard the minister say that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So if each one of us is a book, then when we look at these ayats that we're going to pull up, when you do the word clearing in Arabic, the word book is al-kitab, al-kitab. So we want to look at each of these ayats, and instead of the word book, we want to look at it like an equation, and we want to insert the word mind. Because when you look at the word Quran and the Arabic, the root word qara, and you look at the word kitab, then our mind is like our own book. Would we agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, our mind is like a book. And what we hope to do today is go into the Arabic in the Holy Quran and compare the words in the Holy Quran. Since Allah says He's given us a book explaining all things, we're going to align the Arabic in the Holy Quran to the text of Dianetics to show that there is what we call an equivalence relation between what is taught in Dianetics with respect to the mind and what is taught in the Holy Quran. Now, we're also going to use the minister's words taken from Satan and the Mastery of the Sexual Urges, where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan makes the statement. He says, basically, when you look at scriptures are dramas that contain characters. And he says that those scriptures that are dramas that contain characters He said they actually represent processes that exist inside of us. Does that make sense? Does that make, because y'all got to work with me here. Okay, because everyone's got their screens off. Does that make sense, family?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of
Is there
noise in the
anyone
background,
that
so I don't
does
be
not
talking too much.
understand that?
Can you
Okay.
say it again, please?
Yes, ma'am. When we're reading the scripture, and these are based on the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when we read scripture, the scripture represents a drama. Okay. And in the drama, there's characters, individuals, and each individual plays a part. So you have, so if you know, I know very little about script writing, but you might have what's called the protagonist, you might have the villain. So you have different characters in a drama or like a movie. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you look at those characters in a drama from the perspective of scripture, Minister Farrakhan says that what you're reading in scripture is really a description of what's taking place within us. But what Allah has done is He's taken the processes that are going on within us and has given it form in the form of a scripture that we can read. But when we read that and we understand how the scripture, all the dynamics, all that is taking place within us. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I can see that.
Okay. Go ahead, Sister Jasmine.
Yeah, now it does.
Yes, sir. I was just going to offer that he also said that if we can't make the scriptures relevant to us, it's not of use to us. So I think making it relevant to us helps us see the process that you're speaking of.
Right, right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Jasmine. And the example that I always use in this context of taking the scriptures and making them personal is, and I'll be very brief on this one, but it's Moses in search of the wise man, or Moses in search of knowledge, Surah 18. And when you look at the three trials that Moses go through, that really is an indication of three things. When certain situations come up, these are really three things that we have to go through. So the first thing that Moses had to deal with was when the wise man sank the boat, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Moses didn't understand why. Like, why would you sink the boat? This is the individual, this is the only means of income. And now you just sank his boat. The wise man says, basically, you don't know what I know. You don't see what I see. Okay. Then the second trial was Moses with the wise man. The wise man killed the child. Y'all remember that one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Moses was like, why would you kill a child innocent? You never done anything. Why would you just outright, I think he said that was what's the word he used? I can't remember the exact word, but he basically said that's a terrible thing to do that. The wise man said, look, you don't understand why I do what I do. If you question me one more time, then here's the parting of our ways. And Moses said, okay, because that was the original agreement. Basically, I'm gonna do certain things. Don't question what I do, and I'll explain to you at another time. The third trial was they went to a home, they were traveling, they asked the people for food. The people basically disrespected them. The wise man saw a wall that was on the verge of falling, and he repaired the wall. And then Moses said, why would you, the fact that you fixed the wall, now they have to give us something. And the wise man said, well, here's the parting of the ways. And then he explained that the reason why he sank the boat was that there was a king that was confiscating the boats, and the king confiscating the boats for his own navy. And so then what took place was he sank the boat so that when the king came by with the navy, that boat would be underwater so that
Underwater.
Yeah, the boat was under the water. So the king would come by, see the boat was underwater, wouldn't confiscate it, and then the individual could pull the boat to shore, patch the boat, and then continue to make money for his family. And it's to teach the lesson that a short-term loss sometimes is a long-term gain. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
The
sir.
second trial was that child that the wise man killed was going to grow up. His parents were righteous. And so that child was going to grow up and pull his righteous parents into unrighteous conduct.
Mm.
So that child had to be killed in order to spare the righteous parents, but they had already guaranteed that the righteous parents were going to have another child that would be righteous like them.
Mm.
And that is to teach us that sometimes there's people in our life that have to be removed because if they remain, we might strive in the path of righteousness, but down the road, this person might try to pull us from that path. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the third and
Absolutely.
final trial was that the wise man repaired the wall, not for the parents, not for the guardians in the house that basically disrespected him, but for the fact that there was children, they were foster children that lived in the house, and under the wall was the inheritance that their original parents had left for them. And if the wall would fall, then the treasure would be exposed and thieves and robbers would get access to the gold. So that is to teach us that sometimes we have to do good for the sake of doing good, but the individuals that we're doing good for, they may not even ever know that we did it. So sometimes we got to do good and we won't get any recognition. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But now in making it personal, what I strive to do is sometimes certain things in life I've tried to plan to do and accomplish. And what Allah has done is Allah has sank my boat.
Mm.
And so then I had to look at that from the standpoint of, okay, Allah just sank my boat. So what did I have to do? I had to kill the child in myself. I had to take away the emotion. I had to rise above emotion into the mind of thinking of God and look at what Allah has just done. And then look at it from that viewpoint. Okay, if He didn't allow me to get this at this point in time, there must be a reason why. I might not see it right now, but if I kill the child in myself, that means I won't get emotional at not accomplishing this at this time. But once I kill the child in myself, down the road, Allah has another treasure stored up for me.
Mm.
That's why we got to personalize these things, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Sister Angela.
Yes, sir. I was going to put a video in the Supreme Wisdom chat yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
but I was unable to do it. It was a fortune treasure found in a wall.
Mm-hmm.
When they broke the wall open, everything just started pouring out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that I thought about was
Mm-hmm.
Moses traveling with the wise man.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of represents steadfastness,
Mm-hmm.
and Allah could never be a liar, and He would never shirk on His promise.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. What I believe right now is that each one of us has a bank account with over $1 million in it.
Mm.
We just have to do the work in order to make withdrawals.
Come on.
Some of us want to make withdrawals without doing work. That's mystery God.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of us has a safe full of riches. And now what we have to do is we have to get the combination correct, as the minister's words are.
So,
Okay, so all of this is based on the minister's words. That's the foundation. And so we're going to go through, we're going to touch on different aspects of this, but we're going to, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to get really more in depth and in detail with this aspect of the Holy Qur'an and its application to the tech and its application to a knowledge of self. Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what I will do is I'm gonna put the text up on the screen and we're just gonna read through it and we're just gonna discuss it and we're gonna connect it to the text. Let me
The numbers and links section of our website. News.
cancel that. Without okay, share screen. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna need everyone to go on mute just so we don't have the background information sound. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll read this. If you have your Holy Quran, you can follow through, and I'm gonna touch on different points. But over the next couple of weeks, God willing, we're gonna get in more detail. This was an idea, and I'm not quite sure how the idea came about. I think it was just based on the fact that it's been a while since I read through the introduction to the Holy Quran. A lot of us might read the Holy Quran, but we may not have read all the information that's in the introduction, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not lately.
Yeah, there's a lot of good information here. But as I read this, I saw a marriage between the Book of Deeds and the tech and how the limbic system in the brain operates. And so we'll discuss that here, but we're going to get more in depth over the upcoming weeks. So here it says, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. So it says the Book of Deeds. Actually, how many of us actually have our Holy Qurans handy?
I do.
Okay, would you like to read the first part of this, and then we'll stop at the point where we want to discuss it.
The Book of Deeds. A few words may be added as to the Book of Deeds. We are told that every action, however great or small, is written down, and the book shall be placed. Then thou wilt see the guilty fearing from what is in it, and they will say, Ah, woe to us! What a book is this! It omit not a small one, nor a great one, but numbers them all.
Okay,
18.
let's stop right there, Sister Sophie. Thank you. When I came across this ayat, it reminded me of why individuals don't want to get audited. Why some of us have avoided the Dianetics. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Let's say, and it's interesting because the Holy Quran says some will receive their book in their right hands and they will be in a good place, and some will receive their book in their left hands, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you clear all that Arabic, when you clear all the Arabic and you understand that from the perspective of different contexts in the Holy Quran that are describing the book in the right hand and the book in the left hand, it is as if the Holy Quran is describing the right hand sounds as if it's the equivalent of individuals that are getting processing, and the book given in the left hand is describing what seems to be individuals that are becoming aberrated. Now, it also talks about some books, some faces turning white and some faces turning black, correct? Everyone follow that?
Yes, sir. I follow
Okay.
that.
But now when you clear the
Yes, sir.
words in Arabic, it doesn't mean, which some people seem to take it literally, that individuals that are blessed, their face is going to turn white, and individuals that are cursed, their face is going to turn black, which makes no sense. But when you clear those words, the Arabic word for black, I believe it's aswad, and it does mean black, but aswad also means to be frustrated or gloomy, which is describing the lower part of the tone scale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you look at faces turning white, I believe the word is abyad. And even though it does mean turn white, it also means to be happy and cheerful, which is describing the upper part of the tone scale. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if we bypass the literal translation of people turning white and people turning black, which is not going to happen, based on word clearing and understanding that when we deal with the Holy Qur'an, some of its verses are decisive and they are the foundation of the book, and some of its verses are allegorical, then we can look at faces turning white and faces turning black as being allegorical, but then studying to find out what would it mean for faces to turn white, for faces to turn black. So it is almost as if the book being handed to us in our right hand. And again, when you go through and clear all the terms, it's describing processing. It's describing what's taking place on one level. Allah says He's given us a book explaining all things, correct?
Yes,
That
sir.
that means it has to mean, because if He's given us a book explaining all things, then all would have to include processing. Minister Farrakhan said that what you see in Scripture, the dramas and the characters represent processes that are taking place within. Everyone follow that?
Yes.
So processing that we're reading about in Dianetics, if that is rooted in the Asiatic, which is us, that has to be already in the Holy Quran in the form of allegory, metaphor, and simile. It's already there. We have to do our own study to get to the root of what is decisive so that we can prove that what we believe in and what we're studying is right and exact. See, I don't argue with individuals that want to make comments about the tech and the minister selling out, and I don't even argue that, because that just shows to me, and this can be proven mathematically. When an individual makes that statement, they haven't studied what the minister has directed us to study, and they have not also studied what they say they believe in. The individual who runs the mouth bears witness that they don't study.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm not wasting my time with them anymore. I don't try to debate. I'm not doing that, because you're running your mouth and you haven't studied. So nothing I say to you with the help of Allah is going to make sense, because you're not.
Right. Right.
So I'm not
You
going
don't
to
know
waste my
what you're
time.
talking about.
Say again, Sister Patricia.
They don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know what they're talking about, and I can prove that. I can prove that logically. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it like this, page 90, Message to the Black Man. He said, if you desire to teach or preach that your religion, I believe he said, your religion is right or true, you must study all religions and their scripture.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it, then that is what we would consider, that's not allegory, that's decisive, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the language of the tech, we would call that stable datum, right?
Sir.
In the language of Islam, we would call that actual fact, correct?
Yes, sir.
I guess someone enjoyed that one. Okay. So now, if we can start our argument based on the words of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that's the best starting point.
Mm-hmm.
If he has said, if you desire to teach or preach that your religion is true and right, you must study all religions in their scripture. In what's called propositional logic, there's something called the contrapositive. The word contra plus positive. If you look up that word, what you do is you take the statement, it's an if and a then statement. If you desire to preach or teach that your religion is right or true, then you must study all religions in their scriptures. So what you do with what's called a contrapositive is you switch those two statements and then you negate both of them. In other words, the contrapositive of that statement would be, if you don't study all religions in their scriptures, then you can't prove that your religion is true or right.
Mm.
And so in just logic, when a person is running their mouth, mathematically, what they're telling us is they don't study. So why waste time? Why waste time with people who ain't studying? There's 101 other things we could be doing than debating people that don't study. Make
So
sense?
you're saying that's wasted energy, huh?
It's wasted energy. We could take that energy and formulate it towards individuals that have a desire to. It's different than a person who desires, they might not understand it, but they're open. They're open to hear what you have to say because they want to learn so that they can make a decision versus someone who's just running at the mouth. They're I'm gonna say it like this: they're just flatulating verbally just to make themselves significant. I'm just trying to make it clean, Brother Issa. Just to make themselves significant. It's like you're not significant because you got to study. Make sense, family?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Hey,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
well, brother, so James Brown said you're just talking loud and you ain't saying nothing.
Right. You're talking. It's just like flatulating verbally. You're making noise. You're making noise, but nothing's coming out but hot air.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you look at this ayat, and the book shall be placed. So let's say the book is our mind. Okay. Because if you look up the word kitab and you look up the word Quran, and you look up the root words, kitaba and qara, they both describe aspects of the mind. Well, how is that, Brother Lukman? Because when you look at what's called the limbic system in the brain, you have an organ called the hippocampus, you have what's called the fornix, and then you have what's called the mammillary bodies. This is part of the inner part of the brain. And when you study what's called the hippocampus, and I believe the minister touches on these aspects of the brain in study guide number 18.
Yes.
When you look at the hippocampus would be synonymous with the time track in the tech. The hippocampus records everything and indexes things with respect to time, what has taken place. So these organs, the hippocampus, the fornix, and the mammillary bodies, these things in conjunction record everything that takes place in our life. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you look at this ayat, and the book shall be placed. So in the upcoming weeks, we're going to actually get into the Arabic to get more in depth and tie these ayats to the tech to prove that we already have the tech in the Holy Qur'an. It's just in the form of allegory. Okay. It says, then thou will see the guilty fearing from what is in it. Some of us don't want to get audited. We're afraid of getting audited because we don't want to face what was done to us. But our biggest fear is we don't want to face what we've been doing to other people.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we don't want to confront. We don't want to confront. And it's interesting. Check this out. Interesting point. When you look at our teaching and you look at the word civilize, because we know, what is the meaning of civilization? One having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not savage, right? Pursuit of happiness, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you look at the word civilize from the Arabic standpoint, The Arabic word for civilized, one of the Arabic words for civilized is hadara. I believe it's Hadara. And one of the meanings for hadara is also to confront. That means in order to start the process of civilization, one has to confront certain things.
Mm.
And based on Surah 18, ayat 49, the guilty, they fear what is in the book. Wouldn't that be similar to say that some of us are afraid to confront the four flows?
Woo. Yes, sir.
Brother,
Now,
when
go
you
ahead.
finish,
Go,
no, I'm trying to.
go ahead, Sister Angela.
So let me ask this question. I did have a comment, but I got a question that has to
Okay.
come before the comment.
Okay.
How can I say this? Is the job okay? I think I shared this before. There was an incident where a brother spoke to an auditor. They were not in a session, and the brother ended up telling the person that was the auditor that they broke the law.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were not in a session, the auditor went and reported what was said.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I think I just became the AC. And so it was brought to my attention by the brother's wife. And I had to take it to national because it was a great debate about this. Big,
Mm-hmm.
big, big. So this was the instructions from national. The auditing process is only for the pain from within that comes from other people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the auditor does with the person. And the what the person may have done to themselves or others, that's the auditing process between them and Allah.
Mm-hmm.
They take it to Allah. So I think I think that's the biggest misconception, especially for people that are not on a course.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking this when that happened in 25. You think you ordering somebody in there after that happened? Oh no, I'll go to the org, or I'm not doing it because I'm gonna get put out the mosque. So we have to really shed some light on that, abroad, because I had to fight. I had to fight for a couple of years. Thank Allah that it made sense eventually, and we got people to start getting audited again. But I believe you're absolutely right. However, the auditing process is not for what we've done to other people or what we've done to ourselves. Is what people have done to us.
So, yes, ma'am. So the book one auditing, the training that we were to undertake under
Mm-hmm.
the guidance of the minister
Mm-hmm.
is dealing with the pain that we carry around based on what's happened to us.
Yes, sir.
When you get into the other aspects of auditing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you have to confront. Now that's when you get on the cans, and that's another type of auditing.
Right, and I think that is a
Yeah.
individual choice.
Yes.
The instruction was to get audited,
Mhm.
and that's what we got from National.
Right. So in the process to go clear, part of that process to go clear is you have to confront. You actually confront all four.
Mm-hmm.
You have to confront all four flows.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes me back. It takes me back to this ayat. It says, "Oh, woe to us! What a book is this?" Now, everywhere you see the word, so this ayat, 1849, Surah 18, ayat 49, we can look at this like a mathematical equation. If everywhere you see the word book, just type to personalize this.
Mm-hmm.
Put in the statement, "My mind," and my mind shall be placed. That will see the guilty fearing for what is in it. And they will say, woe to us. What a mind is this? It omits not a small one nor a great one, but numbers them all. So the mind, and there's other ayats in the Holy Qur'an that bear witness to this, the mind records everything. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes,
And in the tech, he goes into great detail. Everything is recorded. So everything is recorded either in the analytical mind or the reactive mind, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So we have two books, okay? We have two books. Everything is recorded, but remember, based on our lessons, okay, the duty of the 5% is to teach the science of everything in life, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so for me, I study the tech. I love studying the tech, but for me, I want to know the science behind it. Because then if I can understand the science behind it, I can better understand it and I can better explain it. And when you look at the science behind Dianetics, you're dealing with the limbic system in the brain. And when you delve into the study of the hippocampus, the fornix, and there's other parts of the limbic system, but these are the three major components. These aspects of the limbic system record everything that has taken place. Now here's another thing that I did, and this would be part of a subject matter down the road. That did not the Most High Elijah Muhammad say that the brain contains 14 billion brain cells? Has anyone ever heard that before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was playing around with the math on that. 14 billion brain cells. And then you go down the path with the ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT to get certain information. But for me personally, I don't take it as gospel. I go and I research further because there's sometimes ChatGPT is incorrect. But when you take 14 billion brain cells, and then the question is how many atoms are in each cell? It breaks down another number of how many atoms. Now we know in our lesson it says 1/100th of a cubic inch contains 200 million atoms, correct? Y'all with me? Problem book question number 4, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That means if there's 1/100th of a cubic inch contains 200 million atoms, that means 1 cubic inch would contain 20 billion atoms. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you look at the number of brain cells based on what the Most High Elijah Muhammad has given us, and then you do the math of how many atoms are in each cell, and then you do, because like modern time, like now in this day and time, they have been able to record data on individual atoms. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Makes sense.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
this is where you get into quantum physics. If you do the math, and I did this one day, I was going down a rabbit hole playing with certain things, based on the number of brain cells that an individual has, and based on the number of atoms that are contained in each one of the cells, and if you're able to record a person's history on these atoms, guess how many years of history can be recorded in the brain? It came down to trillions of years of history.
Don't say 76.
It didn't give an exact figure. It just
Okay.
said trillions of years of history.
Mm.
Okay. So that would almost, at least for me, help me to understand that we have all this information stored, but the locks are rusty and we can't access the scrolls. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And when I have spoken to individuals that have been studying the tech and going through certain processes, the common denominator of what everyone starts to share with me is they start to their ability to access other information begins to increase, and the information is coming from within. Sister
Wow.
Patricia, have you experienced anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Sister Patricia?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this tech is legit. The tech is legit. if we also dig into the science that supports it. And when you look at what's taking place right now with different doctors coming out, there's a whole lot of books being authored right now with regards to trauma being stored in the body. Have you seen the books?
No.
Oh, there's a lot of books on the market. There's one book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
there's a lot of books. Dr. Gabor Mate has a book called The Myth of Normal. And
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from their research, but what I'm seeing is a lot of the books I'm coming in contact with, they're really bearing witness to what L. Ron Hubbard said back in the 50s.
Oh, yes, sir.
They're just bearing, so it's just some of them probably are applying their own research, some of them are plagiarizing. I'm just gonna say it like that. Some of them are just ripping off L. Ron Hubbard's
Yeah.
information.
Like they did How to Eat to Live, pretty much.
Like they're ripping off how these live, all this intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Came
Right.
from the Most High Elijah Muhammad. You're plagiarizing. Okay. But that's a whole nother story. So Surah 18, ayat number 49. If you compare this ayat and you look at the book that's being spoken of as the hippocampus, the fornix, and the mammillary bodies, the way it works is the hippocampus is like the time track. The fornix, Fornix, it works with the hippocampus the same way the file clerk works with the time track.
Hmm.
The mammillary body allows one to recall what is recorded. So, in other words, when you're taking someone back in session, what you're actually doing is you're accessing and exercising different aspects of the limbic system that a person may not have been using their whole life. Mm-hmm. Because all of us, we're brought into a society and an environment where we allow other people to think for us, don't we?
Yes.
Everything is based on I give you information, you regurgitate what I give you. You don't come up with your own individual idea or your own independent thought. If you want to pass this test, whatever I said, that's what you repeat, and that's how you get a passing grade, correct?
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yes, ma'am. So in processing, it's like, if you go to the gym the first time, you're using muscles you've never used before, haven't you? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In processing, you're using aspects of the brain that you probably haven't used your whole life. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who wants to read the next ayat in the Book of Deeds? Who wants to? Oh, Sister Angela, you had a question? I see a hand up.
Oh yes, sir. I think I may have. Oh no, it's actually about the books. But I think I started with. I did. I heard you mention this book a lot, the Bhagavad Gita.
The Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, I started listening to that, and
Yes.
got to the point of dualism and overcoming it, as they say. And I go to who is God. This is to me. This is what this talk is about.
Mm-hmm.
About this book is the lecture who is God. Allah acting to the right, supreme being. Allah acting to the left is the Satan.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad being taught by Master Fard Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
given the secrets to the universe in 3.5 years. What kind of auditing was taking place in that room?
Tell me about it.
So, and finally, I get to see something, and we have I'm gonna say me, have to be careful as auditors, even people that have taken our other instructions the minister may have given,
Mm-hmm.
and some may take it, some may do how to eat to live 100%, while others, eat potato chips and fried chicken and fried anything because we don't supposed to eat anything fried.
Mm-hmm.
And this separation happens. So I'm noticing, I noticed it with the auditors in New Jersey, that it became a subculture almost. That, well, we're listening to what the minister said and we're following the instruction. And it really breaks down to this for me. I don't try to convince people
Mm-hmm.
to get audited anymore
That's right.
by talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it that way. I convinced them by the people that have gotten audited. So you sit the clean glass next to the dirty glass, and it always is going to be inviting. So, and because we still have a work to complete, we have to help turn these locks at a terrific rate or terrific speed. And that is the work of the minister. See, and that's what I understand what the minister said about him making us clear now, because their version of clear is one thing. His version of clear is another thing. And we still have a job to do once we go through whatever we go through within the org. We had to come out here like he told Brother Abdul Malik. And when that Brother Abdul Malik said this when he was doing the interview with Brother Josh, he said that the minister said, now you've taken that as high as you can go with it. Now it's time to go back and bring it to the supreme wisdom and take it higher.
That's right.
So I just wanted to put that other part of our work out there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Sister.
Thank you, sister.
Praise be to Allah.
Sister Jasmine, did I see your hand up?
You did. I was gonna share some of the. Ironically, I wrote some in my notes, some of the same things that Sister Angela just shared. But when you were talking about the process, it just made me think about purification and us being other than ourselves. And when we don't go through the process of purification, we don't even realize that we have been and continue to eat the wrong food and that we are other than ourselves. So, and then when she spoke about the clean glass and the dirty glass, that's like the basics of what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. So to me, the right is a clean glass, and then the left is the dirty glass, and it's us to decide whether or not we want to remain dirty, or do we want to be among the class that are that reflect the clean glass. That was all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Two quick points. One, Sister Angela had mentioned the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in a lecture titled "The Science of the Holy Qur'an," I believe is the title of it. And in the question and answer period at the end of the lecture, I couldn't quite make out the question that the brother was asking. But Minister Farrakhan said that he said the Vedas, which is the Vedas, Vedas, is a group, a collection of stories that are ancient stories from India. And the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, is one book that is a part of it. You have the Bhagavad Gita, you have one that's called the Ramayana, you have another one called the Mahabharata. But the Bhagavad Gita is a part of that. And the minister said that the Vedas and the Gita represent the wisdom of the original man that predate the Holy Qur'an and the Bible. So now, the fact that the minister would even make that statement, to me, would imply that he has read the Bhagavad Gita. Would that be a safe assumption?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, why would he read the Bhagavad Gita? Because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says on page 90 of Message to the Black Man, again, if you desire to teach that your religion is right or true, you should study all religions and their scriptures, correct?
Yes, sir.
So have you ever heard the minister speak about different religions? I have.
Sir, I have too.
Would that include a religion called Scientology? Or was that not included in all religions?
Well, he spoke about Scientology.
Okay, so we should be studying that as well. Now, I want to kind of give us an assignment if we're not already doing this. When you look at Surah 96, and it talks about read in the name of your Lord who creates, who taught man by the pen what man know not, right? Knew not, correct?
Yes.
Here's an experiment for the scientists that want to go into the laboratory. Take any paragraph or any page of Message to the Black Man. Read that page. Stop when you have a cognition and write that cognition down. And then continue reading that page. When you stop reading that page, what do you think I'm about to say next you should do?
Go over it again.
Go back to the beginning.
Over it again. Pick up whatever additional data you can
Pick up whatever
contact.
additional data you can contact. Because if you're writing, I didn't say type on the computer, write with a pen. Because there's actually research out that verifies that when you are studying and you're writing, you access more information in writing than you do with typing. There's something
Right.
about the pen, and it's verified in the Holy Qur'an that Allah teaches man by the pen what man knows not. So could we say that our cognitions are really gifts from Allah?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our cognitions are like gifts. I look at cognitions as assignments. And I might write this down and say, okay, that's what I'm gonna study later on today. And then I'll keep going to stay focused. You gotta complete that cycle of action. Otherwise, like Sister Sharon said, you'll be like an octopus. You'll have all these tentacles all over the place, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to go ahead and read the next verse?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Put my glasses on. Okay, it's the second one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bismillah. So whoever does good deeds and is a believer, there is no rejection of his effort, and we surely write it down for him.
Okay. So again, it falls back on, if we look at this from a neuroscience perspective, or we look at it as a neuroscience theology, if we plug that into problem number 13, it bears witness that everything that we do is recorded in our limbic system. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Go to the next one.
He utters not a word, but there is by him a watcher at hand.
Okay. Now, is it possible that this watcher is our own self? When you look at it from the tech, there's three major ways that data is recorded: sonic, visual, and psychomotor or physical, correct? So everything we see is recorded, what we hear is recorded, and anything that comes in contact with regards to touch is recorded, correct?
Absolutely.
And these things are recorded in that area of the brain, the hippocampus, fornix, mammillary bodies. But the specific example of the mammillary bodies is that allows us to recall what is so if we look at the hippocampus as the time track, if we look at the fornix as the file clerk, then the mammillary bodies is the avenue through which the file clerk, we produce what's called the recall. Recall the time when, right? Okay. Now, if you want to try something that's very, very interesting, you know how in processing, recall it, self-analysis, recall a time when, right?
Yes.
Recall a time when you saw the car. Recall a time where you saw a watch. But if you go into the Holy Qur'an, find all the places in the Holy Quran where Allah says, remember when Allah showed you this. Couldn't that be another type of processing?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
You know how some processing, they say, look at that wall. Thank you. Look at that chair. It's called objective processing, right?
Yes.
Doesn't Allah say in the Holy Quran, look at the clouds? Look at the birds. Couldn't that be considered objective processing also?
Yes, sir.
So objective processing, we say, is in the Holy Quran, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some of us understand what group processing is, right?
You said group?
Group processing.
Yes.
When you get into the nuts and bolts of group processing at its root, and this is based on the words of L. Ron Hubbard, is designed to teach us to listen to a command and then execute it under control. Does that make sense? He'll say, think about moving your foot 1 inch. Now move your foot 1 inch. Now determine that you want to move your foot back an inch. Now move it back an inch. That's group processing. Okay, does everyone follow that?
No.
Okay, it's group processing is a way in which, based on little things, you learn how to take control of your body. You think about something and then you do it instead of reacting or operating spontaneously. You know how sometimes someone might say something and then we react before we think about what we say, and then we wind up saying something that we regret,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Or a
Yes.
child would do something and we done smack the hell out the child. We reacted before thinking.
Yes.
So group processing, when you get into the nuts and bolts of it, is really teaching the group. The group is it's done in a group setting. You're teaching individuals how to think about what they will do before they do it, and then execute the movement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Does
So
that make sense, Mr. Sharon?
group could be substituted for conscious then. It's conscious. You're asking the person to be conscious of what they're doing.
Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Instead of responding without thought, like speaking without,
Reacting,
you
yes.
think, like we're taught to think 5 times before we speak, right?
We may be right.
Okay. Now, do we have group processing in the Nation of Islam?
Absolutely.
Mark time.
March.
To your right flank.
Mm-hmm.
Don't anticipate the command, right?
Right.
Left. Don't anticipate the command, right?
Right.
What we do in close order drill is exactly, by definition, group processing.
Processing. Yes, sir.
It's the same thing. We just do it in a different way. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Sister Sultana.
Assalamu alaikum, family. How are you?
Walaikum salam,
Welcome,
sister. How you
sir.
doing?
I'm well. I joined a little bit late. Happy
That's
Savior's
okay.
Day. Getting ready to go teach. But so what you just mentioned earlier about being conscious of something, it is something I learned in a sports psychology seminar. Was when your student comes back to you and there's something you want them to correct in their, and this is regard to ice skating. Instead of saying you did this wrong or you didn't do that, tell the student, were you aware where your arms were? And the student was like, no. I said, well, go back and do it again and just put your awareness where your arms, what your arms are doing.
Go back to the beginning, go over it again, pick up whatever additional data you can
Right.
contact.
And then nine out of 10 times, they correct it without even realizing that they corrected it. So that was something I learned, and I really use that in my teaching approach now, and I see how it's so effective. MashaAllah. That's just reminding me that was the cognitive.
That's amazing. I never thought about it that way, but that's what it is.
Thank you, Sister Sultana. To give the science behind that. Sister Sultana, you finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. The difference between light processing and heavy processing. Like heavy processing is book one. You take them into the painful on the time track and you deal with the emotions, correct? Y'all with me?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Light processing is straight wire and lock scanning, correct?
Yes.
If you look at this scientifically, when we do light processing, straight wire, what is actually happening is you're engaging the different aspects of the limbic system without engaging the amygdala. Okay, Amygdala. Minister Farrakhan speaks about the amygdala in study guide number 18.
Yes,
the amygdala, if you study what the amygdala is, it is almost as if the amygdala is the reactive mind. So in light processing, you're dealing with the memory, you're not dealing with the amygdala. When we're doing book one auditing, it is as if everything that's in everything that's in the memory loop, the hippocampus, the fornix, and the mammillary bodies is being fed through the amygdala. So that's how we're getting in contact with the emotion and the pain and everything that's connected to the memory. But in light processing, we're dealing with the memory without the amygdala. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next verse. Who wants to read the next one? Anyone?
You want me to read?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Or do they think that we hear not their secrets and their private counsels? A, and our messengers with them write down.
Okay. Now, could our messengers be speaking of aspects of our limbic system? Because even though we're in secret councils and we think no one hears it, guess who does hear it? Whoever is speaking it, right? So now, if we're doing all this negativity, negative thoughts, negative words, negative intentions, all this negativity, all that is being recorded, isn't it?
Yes.
It's being recorded in a book, correct?
Yes.
Where is this book located? It's located with the individual.
Right.
Okay. In the language of the tech, these are called overts, withholds, and miswithholds. Yes? Does everyone understand that? Who
Yes.
doesn't? Who does not understand the concept of overts, withholds, and miswithholds? Who doesn't understand that?
Sister Cynthia.
Okay. An overt is nothing more than it's a sin. But in the tech, they call it an overt. It's something that someone does that they shouldn't be doing. Okay. The withhold is something that someone does and they ain't telling no one that they did it. In the Holy Qur'an, it says it like this. And when they are alone with the devils, they say, surely we're with you. We were only mocking, right?
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Years ago, and I still have the cassette tape. Brother Abdul Sharif Muhammad produced the cassette tape, and at one point in time, he spoke about what's called the little black box. This is going back in the 90s, I believe it was. And the little black box, he said, is the things that we do that no one knows about except us and Allah. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a withhold. So we did something, that's the overt, no one knows about it, that's a withhold. But Allah knows, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The missed withhold is something we did that we don't speak about, but we're not quite sure if someone knows about it or they don't know about it. So, like sometimes, an example is someone says something and they phrase it in such a way that we're like, why would, in our mind, we're saying, why would you say that? Oh, damn it, they know. But we really don't know if they know, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
That's a missed withhold. Everyone follow that?
Say it one more time.
Okay, so like a missed withhold would be, let's say,
You're not sure someone's watching from the window.
it's like we did something, and someone happened to come through. I'll use something comical. I'll use something comical, like there's a whole pack of cookies, and I'm chowing down, and then my wife walks through, and I know damn well I'm not supposed to be eating that stuff anymore because I'm trying to, you get to a certain age and you got to start really minding the things that you do. So I'm hiding it. She comes through, and I don't know if she saw that I was doing it or not. And then later on down the road, I might say something like, yeah, I got to really get on my eating habits. She says, yeah, the one thing we got to stop doing is eating cookies. And in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, did she see me? Or like, why would she say that specifically? Is it a coincidence or does she know? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, it's things that we do. Someone else is involved. We're not quite sure if they know that we did it or not. So now we have what's called a guilty conscience, correct?
Mhm. Mhm.
So the guilty conscience is the missed withhold. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and read the next one, sister.
Okay, yes, sir. um, and surely there are keepers over you, honorable recorders. They know what you do.
Okay. So down the road, we're going to break all this down in the Arabic and do the word clearing and see if we can connect this to the limbic system. Because really, this is, to me, this is describing allegorically what's taking place in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And go ahead and hit the last one.
This is our record, Kitab, that speaks against you with truth. Surely we wrote what you did.
Okay. So we can't get away, even though we think we're in the darkness by ourselves, no one's around, we're still there and it's being recorded.
Yes,
And
sir.
what happens is on the day of resurrection, our books are going to be made wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So we can either get our book in our right hand, and inshallah, the next time we do the Zoom meeting, I'll get into depth of the right hand and how it is equivalent to processing, because it's almost like the Arabic is describing the book is being opened up in a controlled environment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you're still going to endure the pain of what took place in the book when you go through processing. That's why we have to try to get the charge to come out and release the charge, correct? But it's being done in a controlled environment
Mm-hmm.
versus the stuff from our book coming out and we're not in a controlled environment. That's when the stuff comes up and it overwhelms us.
Yes.
In processing, it's not overwhelming us because we have an auditor present, correct?
Right.
So it's coming out, but it's in a controlled environment. It's a controlled, it's like a controlled demolition, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if someone says something out in public and then you snap or we snap, now it's coming out, but it's not controlled. And
Right.
now
It
we're
could lead to
incarcerated.
disaster.
Now it's a
Mm-hmm.
disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I worked as a chaplain in the prison, one of the questions I asked the brothers is, I said, well, if you go back to the time that you committed the whatever crime you committed, I said, how many of you soon thereafter said to yourself, what have I just done? And I can't believe I just did it. And almost every hand went up. So when you look at what Allah says in the Holy Quran, Surah 3, I believe Surah 3, Ayat 140, it says, as a wound has afflicted, and this is not verbatim, but this is how I remember it. As a wound has afflicted you, a wound has also afflicted the disbelievers. And that Allah brings these days about by turns that he may purge the believers but destroy the disbelievers. In other words, what's taking place in our own mind, we have the ability to be purged of it, or what has accumulated in the fine mist that the naked eye can hardly detect in the
Mm.
current of our own mind will come back in the form of something that will destroy us. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yes. Supreme wisdom all the way.
There you go. All praise is due to Allah. So go ahead and keep reading, Sister Patricia.
Okay. Um, Not only has every individual his book of deeds, but even nations are spoken of as having their books of deeds.
Mhm.
And thou wilt see every nation kneeling down. Every nation will be called to its record, Kitab. This day you are requited for what you did.
Mhm. Keep going.
It must, however, be borne in mind that the word Kitab, translated as book or record, or Kataba, he wrote, is used in a very wide sense in the Holy Qur'an. As Rakib says, Kitab does not always mean a collection of written leaves. It sometimes signifies the knowledge of God or his command or what he has made obligatory. Nor does kataba always signify that he wrote certain words on paper with ink and pen. It also means he made a thing obligatory or decreed, ordained, or prescribed a thing. Let us see now what is meant by the writing of the deeds and the book of deeds. The above quotations show that by the writing of the deeds is meant their preserving and guarding, the angels being called both keepers and recorders. The following verses throw additional light on this subject.
So read this ayat. Yes, ma'am.
And we have made every man's actions to cling to his neck, and we shall bring forth to him on the day of resurrection a book which he will find wide open. Read thy book. Thine own soul is sufficient as a reckoner against thee this day.
Okay. Now, this ayat right here is very key, and I'll explain why. It says here, it says, we have made every man's actions to cling to his neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what I'm about to say, some of us either might be experiencing this, or we might have friends or family that are going through this.
Yes.
But how many people do we know that have problems with their thyroid?
Mm.
Some of us have family members or friends that have problems with the thyroid, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Where's the thyroid located?
In the neck.
In the neck. There is research out there that shows that suppressed emotions, specifically, I think anger, is at the root of thyroid problems.
Wow.
So the suppressed emotion that we're carrying around is clinging to the neck. Make sense?
Yes.
So this is allegorical. This is metaphor, but it can be substantiated by research that individuals that have suppressed anger, it'll affect the thyroid, or I think what's also called the parathyroid. Does that make sense, family?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sister Angela, go ahead.
Yes, sir. To put some mass behind it. When I used to read that, and what happened to me, I had a heavy head, as if I had something weighing down my neck, weighing down my neck. I could not keep my head up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to actually hold it with my hand. This lasted for a couple of days. And also I see, as you all were speaking, this messenger of Allah in us as we're taught in the study guides. It seems that the aberration and the sin is what silences the messenger for us to hear, but that's the recording angel in us.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's becoming a lot more clearer to me. Some of the mercy that's given to us with the use of this tool. I'm going to go back to book one because I've been promising to serve what I read. But at one point in book one, L. Ron Hubbard even made that synopsis. Faith is just that powerful, that faith in Allah, that marriage with Allah can overcome engrams. And some of us may not have to go on into reverie or whatever the case may be. The self-accusing spirit is so loud because for at one, especially us in the nation have been in 10 years or more, there shouldn't still be some things that we don't want nobody to know happening in our life. We should have some form of our self-accusing spirit should be loud enough to guide us and not do things that are going to be detrimental to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a way of when Sister Angela wanted to go burn down this house, and the self-accusing spirit said, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. Angela, you sure you want to do that?
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can get locked up, you can cause harm, I don't just think, I know you think you're justified, but no, I think you need to think that over again.
Mm-hmm.
So staying ahead's prevailed by
Yes,
Allah's
ma'am.
grace and mercy.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to
DI.
God.
Deceptive
Sister Sandra.
intelligence.
Yeah, right. Sister Jaslyn, I saw your hand pop up there for a minute. You had something?
Oh, yes, sir. I don't know if I had shared this before, but when you were talking about suppressed anger, I actually had a boil come out of my neck that looked like a fist, like knuckles I was almost going to have plastic surgery because it was um where it was located, but the doctor told me that that was the angriest boil he had ever seen. And I was going through a great deal of persecution at the time, and I thought I was handling it. I thought Allah and I would handle it, but evidently I wasn't, because it did come out in my neck. So that was like a literal manifestation of what you were saying.
Interesting. Interesting.
Wow.
He said that's the angriest boy he's ever seen, huh? Praise be to Allah. All right. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep moving. Go ahead, Sister Patricia.
Okay.
The brother had his hand up, I think.
Who had his hand up?
Oh.
Who, Brother Martin?
I think so, unless he just was voting or something.
You got your hand up, Brother Martin?
Something like Happy
Salam.
Savior's Day.
Happy Savior's Day.
No, I didn't have my hand up, but thank you for tuning in to me. I was watching a prior class, and you ended on you referred to page 81, Brother Lukman, of Our Savior Has Arrived. So I read that and I went to sleep. When I woke up, I went back to reading, and the very first sentence on page 82 was, "Your mind will be clean." And I've been making efforts to get back to join you all. And by the grace of Allah, this morning was it.
All praises due to Allah, Brother Martin. Yes, sir. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Martin, for that. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. For him are angels guarding the consequences of his deeds, before him and behind him, who guard him by Allah's command. Wow. Keep going.
Yes, ma'am.
Nay, surely the record of the wicked is in the prison. And what will make thee know what the prison is? It is a written book.
Okay. So now if we look at that for just a quick minute, could we not make that equivalent to the reactive mind and how the reactive mind is a prison?
Yes.
The reactive mind, the prison is called chronic restimulation, isn't it?
Yes.
So could we make that connection? When a person is constantly in restimulation, isn't that based on something that is a written book, meaning something that's recorded in the limbic system? Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Because see what we're doing here is based on the minister's words. Whoever controls the diameter of your thing controls the circumference of your activity, correct? All we're doing is we're posing questions that are outside the normal circumference so we can produce a new diameter, which will give us a new circumference, right?
Yes.
And that as soon as you increase the circumference, you increase the area, because the circumference is C equals I times D. Okay. But as soon as you increase that circumference, you're increasing the area, you're increasing the surface area, and you're increasing the volume. Meaning, as soon as we ask the questions as the bean soup scientists would do, the volume of our wisdom by Allah's grace becomes more vast and heavier, because we're asking the questions as the minister used, that the intellectual cowards are afraid to ask. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Okay. Keep it going, Sister Patricia.
Yes, sir. Nay, surely the record of the righteous is in the highest places. And what will make thee know what the highest places are? It is a written book.
Okay. What are we talking about these books? Where are these books located? We're talking about
In our mind.
In
in
our
the mind,
mind.
right?
Mhm.
Now, with respect to the body, wouldn't this be considered the highest places?
Yes.
It's just
Yes, sir.
it's another way of looking at it. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. The first of these quotations shows that the book of deeds, which a man will find on the day of resurrection, is nothing but the effect of the deeds he has done. In the second, it is not what a man does that is spoken of as being guarded, but it is clearly the doer who is guarded. And reading it with the first quotation, the conclusion is evident that man's deeds are guarded by the impress which they make upon him. The third and the fourth quotations show that the book or record of deeds is identical with the place where it is kept. In the former, the book of deeds is in a prison, and the prison is a written book. In the latter, the book of deeds is in the highest places, and the highest places are a written book. The book of deeds is, therefore, within man because the deeds are preserved by the effect which they leave on man. Whew. It is said to be,
You want to stop there for a minute, Sister Patricia?
it just reminded me of something.
So you got you had an origination there.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. All right, keep going. Is it something you want to discuss or no?
No, it was with somebody else, but
Okay.
okay,
All right, we'll keep going.
okay. Let's see. By the effect which they leave on man. It is said to be in a prison in one case because the evil deeds hamper a man's progress. Ooh. And keep his faculties for the doing of great and good deeds shut up, as it were, within a prison. And in the other case, it is said to be in the highest places, because by good deeds, the faculties given to man find their highest development.
Let's stop there for a minute. So what's being said here is if we compare this to the text, the deeds that we engage in that produce a negative impress on us keep us from obtaining the higher faculties and the higher qualities that are already dormant that are within us, correct?
Yes.
So if you connect this with the tech, then it makes sense that as a person is able to give up certain things from the past of things that have happened to them, and they're able to get rid of that charge. And the charge we know is neurochemical. The charge is adrenal corticotropic hormone. The more we can get rid of the emotional pain we carry out, we are starting to open up the safe full of riches that are contained within us. Does it make sense?
Oh my God.
As we give up the negative things from our past, we're allowed entry into a hereafter. Make sense?
Mm,
There,
yes.
there's higher faculties. I mean, if we just go based on this, the evil deeds hamper a man's progress
Yes.
and keep his faculties for the doing of great and good deeds shut up. So could this be the safe full of riches now?
Mm,
And every time we do an evil deed is like sealing. But the Most High Elijah Muhammad said that he cracked Farrakhan, right?
yes.
Okay. So each one of us need to be cracked.
Mm-hmm.
But what we wrestle with our aberrated mind is
Mm,
sometimes we take 2 steps forward, but we take 3 steps backward
mm-hmm.
because we're still wrestling with stuff that occurred based on our childhood. So our intention is good. We want to make the progress, but sometimes we go a couple of days and we fall back. If you read the book, and I've mentioned this before, it's called Dante's Divine Comedy, but the Divine Comedy is broken down into 3 parts. You have Dante's Inferno, you have the Purgatory, and then you have the Paradise. And the key concept of the first part of this book is that Dante is trying to ascend the mountain to get to God, but there's these 3 beasts that keep pushing him back down.
Mm,
So then Virgil comes to Dante and says, you cannot ascend the mountain to get to God. You have to first descend into hell so that you understand the nature of sin. After you descend into hell and understand the nature of sin, then you can ascend back up the other side, and that's where you pick up what's called the purgatory. And then when you get to purgatory, you have to remain on certain levels based on certain sin for a certain amount of time, and then you can ascend to the next stage. Well, that is like auditing, because in order for us to let go of the things from our past, we have to get to the basic of it, don't we?
Yes.
Where we got to get to the nature of what we do now as adults. It appears as sin, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it through the lens of the tech, what we could call sin could also be called dramatization, couldn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we're doing in present time, why is he sinning now as a grown man? He was taught that sin when he was a child, right?
Mm.
What we do in present time, we are dramatizing the behavior of someone else based on either what we saw done to someone else or what was done to us, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So is it safe to say that sin is dramatization?
I believe so.
Does that make sense to everyone?
It can.
Anyone? Everyone? Makes
Yes,
sense,
sir.
right? Okay. And I think that's why one of the reasons why the minister tells us to be patient with ourselves. And when you look at study guide, I see you, Sister Sharon. When you look at study guide, I want to say study guide either number 7 or number 8. Minister Farrakhan says we have to get rid of guilt and shame because Allah knew who we were when he found us, right?
Yes.
How many of us, when we wrote our letter, our life was crystal clear, clean, with no sin attached to it?
No, sir.
So it's safe to assume that Allah accepted the letter. Everyone was a sinner when our letter was accepted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But if we're honest with ourselves, if we go down the restrictive law and we go down the guide, I think it's the guiding principles of good conduct. If we look at whatever our four devils are, if we're honest with ourselves, those things we were taught when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it started, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then going through the processing, we're able to give up the evil deeds that hamper. See, the minister, this is my perception, the minister wants us to have the tech so we can remove the evil deeds that are hampering our progress so we can get into the faculties of what being God really is. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Sister Sharon.
I was just thinking about how much that changes the way we feel about behavior, because sin is a very weighted word.
Mm-hmm.
It's responsible for a lot of self-flagellation,
Mm-hmm.
probably suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just, because, and it's funny because some of this came up in a class with Sister Anyame, that my cognition was that basically a word or an idea is a word or an idea. It doesn't have a value except the value that we place on it. Because
Mm-hmm.
what might be considered a sin under one circumstance might not be a sin under another circumstance.
Right,
So that
right.
means that it's not the thing itself that has a value, good or bad, but just changing that from just changing the thought. And it happened instantly in my head, the difference between dramatization and, let's just say, willful intent
Mm-hmm.
to do ill towards somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two completely different things, because one has consciousness attached to it and intent, and the other is just operating on automatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that there is a lot of mercy in knowing that there exists such a thing or such a behavior as dramatization. So even though I can own what I did, I don't have the weight of intention behind it, intention to damage. And so such a small word, but such a huge shift in the view of the behavior that you would like to change, because I believe that we want to be good people, but we know that we carry a history of having done other than good. I'm saying? So it's like if there's a message I would like to get out to my people that must surely suffer what I suffer when I think sin comes with shame. Sin and shame are always mentioned as couplets, right? You know, these non-rhyming couplets. That there's just mercy is a mercy in this view. We can see the mercy of Allah, and we can see that is not somebody just trying to make us feel good, because there's fundamental difference in dramatization, which is behavior taken on unconsciously and then played out in the world, versus what the devil does, just sit and scheme with the intent of committing harm or injury to others. So I'm grateful for that knowledge, and it's interesting how that knowledge has to be heard different ways before it can finally pierce the membrane of shame attached to it, to be able to hear it differently. You understand what I mean? Hear it. So I've heard the word, but the resonance of the difference in, and the difference is intent is the difference. So yeah, I would like that message. I would like that understanding, that clarity to be put in all the fine languages that we all know, so that our people can keep hearing it different ways.
Yes.
It has to be heard different ways, because you could say the same thing night and day, and either my understanding, my vocabulary could be a barrier to me really hearing it, or the context in which it's said, but it just is so different. As soon as you said that a second ago, I could feel a weight shift, just like that. That's the power of the word, right?
Praise be to Allah. Then there's,
Praise
there's a
be to
type of
Allah.
processing.
Absolutely.
My processing was complete today.
Praise
I
be
can
to
say
Allah.
a whole lot, but it was meant for me to get on today, and it has helped me so much. So praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. So we'll finish this paragraph and then we'll wrap it up. If you could, Sister Patricia, go ahead and keep going.
Yes, sir. Let's see. Where did I stop?
It is quite in consonance.
Is that in the?
You're saying that evil deeds hamper a man's progress and keep his faculties for the doing of great and good deeds shut up.
Okay. Okay. Da, da, da. Within a prison, and in the other case, it is said to be in the highest places, because by good deeds the faculty. Okay. It is quite in consonance with this that we are told that a man himself will make his own account. Read thy book. Thine own soul is sufficient as a reckoner against thee this day. It is sometimes the doer that reads his own book, while on another occasion he invites others to read the same. Lo, read my book.
Okay, now, couldn't that be comparison to reading your own book, similar to like self-analysis and inviting other people to read your book, like book one auditing?
Wow.
Make sense, family?
Yes, sir.
All right, keep it going.
Okay. Such is the doer of good, while the evildoer is made to say, oh, would that my book had not been given to me, and I had not known what my account was. That each nation has also a book, as already pointed out, bears out the truth of what has been said here. For the impress of what a people do is equally left on their national life, and nations, like individuals, are judged by what they do.
Okay, now let me touch on this real briefly, and then we'll go with Sister Sultana. So now, after we just spoke about the Book of Deeds and compared it to the mind and made a comparison to the tech of processing, look at the title of the very next heading now. The next heading is what?
Paradise.
Okay. Now, go look at the next heading after that. What's that heading?
Paradise and hell begins in this life.
Okay. So, in other words, the assignment is finish reading these and then look at how these things compare. So, paradise could be the upper tone scale, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Could that be tone going towards tone 40, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So, paradise and hell begin in this life. We could use that to compare the higher parts of the tone scale versus the lower parts of the tone scale, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
The highest bliss of paradise, wouldn't that be comparable to tone 40?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you look at paradise is meant for further advancement. Well, once we get rid of our emotional baggage, what happens to our mind? Like Brother Martin said, our mind is made clean, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So now what is hell? The next paragraph is what?
Ooh,
Hell is
meant
meant for
for
purification.
purification.
Okay.
Wow.
So you read that in conjunction with the Holy Qur'an, Surah 3, Ayat 140, where everyone has received wounds. And if I'm not mistaken, the word wound in Arabic is qaraha. I think it's the root word qaraha. And I believe the word means suppression. It also means suppression. Everyone is suppressed.
Mm.
And then punishment of hell is not everlasting, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
So this introduction in life after death, you could use this to describe. So this would be section 5 of the Holy Quran in introduction. You could use that and make a comparison with before going through processing and after processing, can't you?
Yes.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Sultana.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I was trying to pull up the ayat the ayat in Surah 56, Surah Waqiah. And doesn't Allah mention that the believer, the righteous, will be given their book in their right hand, and they will not be given their book in their left hand? And the right hand, those receiving their book in their right hand would be those of the pious and the righteous. So I just brought that to my attention when I was listening to what's the process once we leave our physical form, and that we actually are given our book and we have to review our book. Whether it's given to us in our right or our left hand, and one's given to the left, they say, "Woe is this? What kind of book is this?" It doesn't leave out one detail of all the bad things that I've done. And that we actually judge ourselves by reading our book and going through our book. And so that's what that reminded me of. That surah.
Thank you, Sister Sultana. Praise be to Allah. Sister Patricia.
Yes, sir. I can't remember exactly which part we were on, but suppression came into my mind as we were talking today. And so it seems to me suppression is everywhere. And when I first ran into it, being suppressed myself, I felt like it was so terrible. It is terrible, but we as a people live in suppression pretty much until we get the tech and get audited and learn that it's all in the supreme wisdom in the Holy Quran. So I'm glad that you mentioned the word suppression, because I was going to say something, but I didn't. And yeah, that's it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Patricia.
You're welcome.
when you the thought that came to mind as you were talking, Sister Patricia, is that when you look at social media, and it reminds me of, again, the Holy Qur'an, where it says Pharaoh called for his enchanters.
Mm.
Okay, Pharaoh called for the enchanters because Moses was coming, and he was turning the hearts of the children, or the individuals, away from Pharaoh's control, correct?
Yes.
So in reading that part, and you see that in detail in study guide number 1, mixed feeling and controversy. Mixed feelings, couldn't that be aberration?
Absolutely.
Couldn't controversy be restimulation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you look at the minister's words, with regards to the dramas and the characters that are in the scripture, if you take that principle that Minister Farrakhan has given us, and if you apply it to study guide number 1, because in study guide number 1, he gives us, I think it's 8 different stories. You have Ad and Thamud, you have Shuaib, right? You have the different messengers with respect to the different pharaohs or the chiefs of the people, correct?
Yes.
Now, so if we are looking at study guide number 1 as a historical point, we're seeing the messenger speaking with respect to the chief or leader of the people. And the chief or people is trying to maintain control over the people, but the messenger is trying to come to free the minds of the people out of the control of that pharaoh or chief, correct?
Yes.
Now you can take the same study guide number 1, and apply it internally to understand that we are at war with a chief that is within us. Because the word chief, I can't remember the word in Arabic, but the word chief in Arabic is not only describing a person, it's describing a group of people that are in control. Wouldn't that be the same as a valence?
Yes.
Or
Oh
a
my
group,
God.
or a group of valences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So contained within us, we have the chiefs. And so we're constantly at war. From the Bible standpoint, it says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That's in the book of James, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the book of Romans, chapter 7, it's constantly talking about the law of my members is at war with the law of my mind. So study guide number 1, if you take that and you look at study guide number 1 internally, meaning the mixed feeling and controversy that's going on the inside, we are like the messenger going to war with our reactive mind, which is the Pharaoh.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
When you look at how Pharaoh called on the enchanters to try to maintain control over the people so that they would not now side with Moses. And I remember Mother Tanetta Muhammad said, when you look at the word Musa, she said Musa represents Muhammad in the USA. She said that years ago.
Mm.
But the interesting thing is the enchanters. So now if you take that story, enchanter, and you bring it into present time 2025, the word enchanter in Arabic also means a magical lantern, a magical lamp, and it also means a slide projector. And if you look at this cell phone that we have, isn't this a magical lamp?
Wow.
Don't you use this to light up when you're trying to find that change under the bed and in the
Yes,
closet?
sir.
You use this as a flashlight, don't you?
Mm. Yes.
And when you're looking through, don't you slide through different things?
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
this is the modern day, to me, this is my opinion. This is the modern day enchanter. And these quote unquote social media influencers are the
Mm.
modern day enchanters. Because
Mm.
when you look at the subject matter that they're coming up with, based on the variety of subject matter, each one of those things is re-stimulating different aspects of what we suffered in our childhood.
Mm.
There's 100 different ways to make chocolate pudding now using two ingredients. You know, you got the sisters coming on wearing the different types of garments. You have a variety of things. In matter of fact, look at it like this. You have a social media influencer for every restrictive law that can be broken.
Yes.
Because you have some that deal with gambling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
That deal with smoking. You got people that are making chocolate covered bacon strips now. It's funny, but when you look at it, the influencers really, to me, they are the enchanters in present time.
Yes, sir.
They are, if we're always on social media, sooner or later, under that amount of re-stimulation, each one of those little things we watch, the video clip might only be 30 seconds. But I'm gonna go back to the lessons again. But if we're going down a rabbit hole for an hour or 2 hours, all those 30-minute clips will gather in a fine mist that the naked eye can hardly.
Yes. Yes.
And next thing you know, one point we said today we're gonna fast. Next thing you know, we're trying to take one of these recipes, making something because we've watched so many, sometimes you go down a rabbit hole on different cooking techniques or different this and different that. Next thing you know, by the evening, we've went totally off point. We missed our prayers
Mm-hmm.
because we couldn't put the phone down. Does all that make sense?
Yes, sir.
This is the modern day, to me, this is my opinion. This cell phone is the modern day enchanter that Pharaoh, meaning government, is using to try to dissuade us from being connected to Moses, the Most High Elijah Muhammad, and Aaron, Yahweh Minister Louis Farrakhan. And if you look at the word Farrakhan, if you take the F, the K, and the H, and you look at the word that's in Farrakhan, in the word Farrakhan is the word Aaron. That's just my personal take on it. But we know who the modern day Aaron and the modern day Moses is. We already know that. So if we have a modern day Aaron and we have a modern day Moses, then it has to be a modern day Pharaoh and there has to be modern day enchanters.
Yes, sir.
Make sense, family?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sister Angela, we will let you get the last word. Before you say anything, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Denise. How are you doing? Maybe she can't hear us. You're on mute, Sister Denise.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm doing okay. They done worked me out today.
What's that? They wore you out today?
Yeah, they wore me out with therapy. I had an accident and
Ooh, everything okay?
Yeah, I had a stroke on my left side, and so now I'm in therapy. So they doing things with me, different activities. It's mind blowing, and it's amazing you talking about what you're talking about. And assalamu alaikum, everybody, family. I just want to make sure I say all that. But yeah, so it was on my left side this time. Okay. And I'm where I've never been before in my life. So it's an experience and for me, and because I thought you knew when stroke was coming, but I found out you don't know nothing. I didn't know. When stuff is happening, because when you take a nap and you get up from a nap and there it is right there, I say, wow. So I'm just taking in everything, taking it in. But I'm not depressed or sad or nothing like that. I'm just, it has put me with a group of people that that I like being around, you know, and so that's so I went to 3 therapies already today, and I got 2 more. So they working me over, you know, but it's okay because it's bringing me back to present time.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not one day that I have not thought about auditing, you know. And Sister Angela, thanks for saying to me, never take your auditor's hat off, because it has definitely been used around where I'm at. You know, you know, I've had to, you know, just audit people just off, just saying 3 words to them, like, "You go, girl," or I see you did that twist. You know, I got to learn that, you know, or something like that.
Yes,
so it made them work harder. So thank you, beloved.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, and we will pray for a speedy recovery.
Yes.
And we will keep sending some positive energy in your direction.
Yeah, I need that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So, Sister Patricia, but someone had their hand up before you. Was that Sister Angela? Who was that before you?
She can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Sister Patricia.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say I pulled out study guide 18. And when I joined the nation, before I joined, I was visiting the mosque in 1991. And we were on study guide number 18. And it was so exciting to me because it talks about rising above emotion. And I was jacked up back then. Not to say I'm not jacked up now, but I just pulled it out. And what we talked about today gives this thing a whole new understanding.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
whole, just even just the section that talks about where emotion comes from. When it's talking about the thalamus and the,
yes, ma'am.
oh my God, I got to go back over it again. Pick up whatever additional data I.
Yes, ma'am. Study Guide 18 harmonizes with the tech. It harmonizes
Yes.
with the tech.
So she went where I was going.
Okay.
Praise be to Allah.
I already knew. I will just add this if you finish, Sister Patricia.
Yes, ma'am. I could keep going, but yes, ma'am.
No, that's right. Ain't nothing like being witness. That seems to be the destination. This oneness with Allah. Imagine having the ability to rise above emotions into the thinking of God. So it makes absolute sense when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, according to Brother Jabril, that by the time the student gets to question number 10 and Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1, he should be a God. So it's a beautiful thing, this unlocking or unearthing what lies beneath that is stopping us. That's the thing. I know Islam cleaned up my life by Allah's grace and mercy. I was not only did I abide by the law, I learned to love the law and not feel that it was prohibiting me for anything. With the application of auditing, is freeing up things that lie beneath that is slowing down the processing or the processor, and that God within can probably still be swayed at will. But when we get into the thinking of Allah, that is just, the mass is so great, it knocks the brains out of everything else. So that's where I was going with it.
Okay. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
Brother Esau, you got anything you would like to contribute before we start to wrap it up? I feel some energy
Yes.
coming from your direction.
Yes, sir, brother. I was getting work done on my tires. There was a lot of noise in the background. I couldn't say nothing. But I loved the whole show, actually, brother. And what Sister Patricia just said about how we're going higher, and also how the Quran the Dianetics, Scientology, all of it's showing and proving all of it is correct and true. It's good. I did have one question though. I had it way back, but it was so much noise and them fixing my tires. You said the 4 flows. I'm getting back into getting audited in my books and stuff. What is the 4 flows?
Very good question. So the 4 flows is basically a breakdown of how we become, in the tech, you have what's called an ARC break, or become aberrated. So the 4 flows is flow 3, flow 2, flow 1, and then flow 0. So flow 3 is what was done to you. Okay. Flow 2, and if I'm off, Sister Patricia, anyone, just correct me. Flow 2 is what we've done to other people. Flow 1 is what we've seen person A do to person B. And then flow 0 is what we do to ourselves. So when you really get to the root of our aberration, based on book 1, the pain that we carry around, we carry around pain as an adult. We carry around pain as an adult. Why does he fear now that he's a grown man? Because he was taught to eat the wrong food. He was a child. If we translate that into the text, why are we aberrated now as adults, men and women? Is because of what happened in our childhood. So we either witnessed something that was done between 2 people. Like some of us witnessed our parents fighting, correct?
Right.
Okay. So we have a memory of the father beating the mother or the mother beating the father, but 9 times out of 10, it was the father beating the mother. Or it was something that was done to us. So now as a result, walaikum salam, Sister Angela. So as a result of those things in present time, we either do those things towards other people, or that would be called dramatization, or we do things to ourselves, which we could say are called compulsions or addictions. So those are the 4 flows. And I remember Sister Naira said those are 4 devils. So in our lesson say you got to bring and present 4 devils at one time. She compared the 4 flows to 4 devils. I thought that was incredible. That's how I remember that, the 4 devils. So when we go through processing, when you go processing on the cans, and there's things that L. Ron Hubbard will speak on, you go over things in brackets. And in brackets, it means you might ask yourself the question, when you're in processing, someone say, who was it that did XYZ to you?
Right.
Who was it that you witnessed this being done to? Who have you done this to? What is it that you do to yourself? So you're going through every possible combination of being able to pinpoint the root of the pain, because that pain can only come into your life because if there's no mystery God, then there's no mystery pain, there's no mystery devil. Somewhere there was a devil in our life that either did something to us, they did something we saw, and it caused us to do this to other people and now do things to ourselves. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So that's the 4 flows.
Wow, that's really good, because so what you're saying, since you can go on 4 levels of that, you can actually pinpoint it and get directly to the point.
Exactly.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sister Sharon, I see your hand up.
Why does it say present the 4 devils at one time? What's the at one time about?
Well, I'll explain that based on how I look at the lesson. So in the lesson, I think it's question number. Give me 1 second. Let me close this door. I believe it's question number 10. I don't have my lessons handy, but I believe it says, why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil? What is the duty of each Muslim with regards to 4 devils?
What reward does a Muslim
What
receive by
reward does a
presenting
Muslim receive by presenting the 4 devils? But when you go into
at one
the actual,
time?
thank you. When you go actually into the lesson, it says, bring and present 4 devils at one time. Now, this is how I understand it. To bring a devil and to present a devil is 2 different things. Everywhere we go, we bring our devils, right?
Yes.
But we don't always present them. Like on the Zoom meeting,
Ooh.
for all of us, we're all righteous Muslims. But off camera, we all have things we're battling with.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when we're going through auditing, you bring your devils and those devils are presented. So auditing, you bring and present, meaning we bring the devils and those devils are made manifest. And that's what auditing is all about. It's about presenting. When Jesus in the book of Mark, chapter 5, in the King James Version of the Bible, it says that Jesus came across a man who was living in the caves at the foot of the mountains and he was cutting himself with rocks. And he came out and Jesus says, what is your name? He said, my name is Legion because we are many. Okay, that represents you and I. And it says further in chapter 5, it said the next time they saw Legion, the people were dismayed because he was standing at the right hand of Jesus in a new garment in his right state of mind. So it was almost as if Jesus audited Legion. And when you look at it, what did Jesus do? Jesus removed the demons from Legion and then put them in the swine, correct? Let's look at that for just a split second. Because to me, this is how I understand this. To remove the devils and put them into the swine, if you look at this from an auditing standpoint, there's a lot of things we carry around, a lot of characteristics that we feel as though belong to us. But in auditing, the devils are put into the swine, meaning we find the individuals who were responsible. And then the person says, oh, you mean to tell me all this time it wasn't me, it was so-and-so that said that? What just happened? A devil has been put into the swine, meaning we found the source of that bigotry. Does that make sense?
Wow, brother, you blow my mind.
And then watch this. It said, and then run the swine. Run. Isn't that a term that's used in the text? We run a process.
Right.
Yes.
We run the swine off the cliff. And then I think it says run off the cliff into the sea, correct?
Yes.
So we're running a process, but what happens is we pinpoint the fact that our savagery doesn't belong to us. We find we find the individual, and we put that demon into the swine. We identify the source of it, and it doesn't belong to us anymore. And then Legion was seen in a new garment in his right state of mind.
Okay,
But we got to bring and present. You got to present the devil. We can't just bring them.
Just the last question, brother.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you ever read the book, The Untethered Soul.
I actually have that book and I have read it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I'm just wondering, in the whole scheme of thing, who is the one that is the witness? Who is the witness? Like if you say, I know I did such and such, but there's a part of us who is the witness. I think it's the same thing as saying it was written in the book, like the recorder, like there is a part of us that is the witness of all that is done. But like, who is that in Dianetics, in the terms of Dianetics? Who is the witness?
Okay, let's look at that. We'll touch that.
Great question.
Sister Patricia, since you got your Holy Qur'an, can you go to Surah 50, ayat number 16?
Okay,
We'll
Surah.
touch that, and then I promise we'll let Sister Sophie have the last word.
Which ayah?
Surah number 50, ayat number 16. This right here has
Okay.
Dianetics written all over it. Start with ayat number 16.
Okay. Bismillah. And certainly we created man, and we know what his mind suggests to him, and we are nearer to him than his life vein. Keep going.
Yes, ma'am.
When the two receivers receive, sitting on the right and on the left, he utters not a word, but there is by him a watcher at hand. And the stupor of death comes in truth. That is what thou wouldest shun. And the trumpet is blown. That is the day of threatening. And every soul comes with it a driver and a witness.
Okay, so let's start right there. A driver and a witness. Now, when you clear those words in Arabic, the driver, the Arabic word is sayakun. Sayakun. And when you look at the different derivations of the word sayakun, I think the root word is sakara, if I'm not mistaken. It's describing aspects of the reactive mind. The watcher comes from the same root word as shahada or shahid. And when you go into that word in Arabic, it also means what's the person that you go to, a notary public, right? You go to a notary, they record data based on date and time, don't they?
Yes.
Okay. So the driver and the witness is almost as if it's similar to the reactive mind and the file clerk. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. But if you want to get the real watcher based on the tech, I think the real watcher of the check is the Thetan themselves, meaning the individual who's actually watching everything that's taking place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Make sense, Sister Sharon?
I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know. Like you say, like the Thetan.
Are you coming from the perspective of the untethered soul?
Well, I'm looking for the parallel across methods of examining this, right? So I wanted to know, well, what is it in Dianetics? What does it mean in terms of like psychology? Like who is the witness the me, or is the witness the God? The God me?
You are the God. So you are the one that's observing everything. It's just that in our aberration, we're observing, but we're not in present time. But we are the awareness of awareness unit. That's in the language of the Dianetics. We are the watcher. We are actually observing everything, but we're observing things through our reactive mind. We're not in present time.
Okay.
But what I will do is this: I'll go back through the untethered soul and then see if I can draw the parallels for our next session. I'll go back through that book and draw the parallels.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, because I do have that book. It's interesting that you mentioned that.
Excellent question, sister.
Yeah, excellent question. I told you, sister starts digging in the universe, and you can see it. She starts digging in the universe, getting those bean soup questions.
Brother Luke, I gotta say this, brother, because okay, you didn't know, but my father's name is Legion.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
see, when you said what you said, I'm over here getting my mind blown because I said what, and really, my grandmother told me my father doesn't believe in God, right? But she told me because she was a Jehovah's Witness, she the one got me to reading the Bible, right? So she said, mark my word, she called me Tony because like I said, my name's Anthony. She called me Tony. She says, before he leaves, he gonna bear witness there's no God. Do you know my father was a hellraiser all his life, but before he left, he bore witness there was a God.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And when you said Legion, you messed me up, but I'm telling you, I said,
Well, here's something else to mess you up, brother. I grew up and everyone would call me Tone
Mm,
because my
Yep.
birth name is Anthony and people would call me Tony, but my family called me Tone.
tone
See,
stick.
that's what they call me too. My partners call me Tone.
Call you Tone, right?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Uh,
Mm.
thank you, brother Issa. That's funny.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Sister
So,
Sophie,
The witnesses to
you get the last word, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Brother, when we audit it, you can
Mhm.
take a person back to a previous life, right?
You technically won't take someone back to a previous life, but they may go there.
mm,
They might start describing things that sound crazy, but you can't invalidate that.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's the book one is not designed to take people to past life,
Mm.
but it
Okay,
might, but it can
but
happen.
if you go say like, is there an earlier period, and they go back to another time, and
They
you
can do that. They can do
and you
that.
do
But
a, a
but the book one is not designed necessary to take people into
I
past
understand.
life.
I understand. Because
Mm.
when it happened, I had to go back into the book to see if this is possible.
Hmm.
But my question is, can a person come with previous memory or even previous engrams in this present time?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Some individuals are suffering in present time based on things that happened in previous lifetimes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, where can we find this in our teaching to provide as a receipt? Because past lives is not something necessarily that's taught in our
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
teaching, correct?
Right.
Okay. Now, so here's an assignment, and then once I do this, once I give this assignment, um, if the believers would like, I'm gonna play a clip of the minister speaking about this.
Mm,
Because that's the best way I can think of ending such a great question as that is
mm,
what does the minister say?
mm-hmm.
Okay, now if you go back to the deportation of Moon, Sister Ava does speak about past lives.
Oh my God,
Yes,
I
sir.
love that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, so I'm gonna end it on this note. I'm gonna pause the recording just so I can pull up the clip. We'll listen to the minister's words, and that's when we'll end it. Make sense?
So, one more question.
Oh,
So,
go
if you
ahead.
feel,
Mhm.
if you feel that a person that given engrams from previous life, you just run them the same as you run any other engram,
Yes,
right?
you run it. You run it, you finish. Okay, go back to the beginning, go over it again, pick up whatever additional data you can contact. And that's part of the problem. Part of the problem is sometimes we're suffering now based on what happened previously. And that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yes, sir.
But based on things I've heard Mother Tanetta Muhammad say, Sister Ava say, and what I've heard the minister say, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
present this, it makes sense. But Mother Tanetta Muhammad has said there's certain things that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew about, but he couldn't teach because we weren't ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me pause the recording.
Mhm.
Before you do that,
Go ahead.
Yeah, what he wants to go.
the question, I mean, the homework you said you want us to do was what?
Well, the homework I want you to go listen to the video, the lecture by Sister Ava called Deportation of Moon.
Mhm.
But go back over what we did today from the Holy Quran, because I'm gonna try to go a little bit deeper, because I'm gonna try to clear the Arabic and tie the Arabic ayats directly to the tech of Dianetics.
Mm.
So we're gonna revisit everything we talked about today. We're gonna revisit it, but we're gonna work on, hopefully let's go a little deeper into it.
Whew. I don't know if I can
Okay.
handle any deeper.
Yeah. So what we did today was just introducing us to what's in the Holy Quran in introduction, but we're gonna parse through the actual ayats from the Holy Quran and connect the Arabic that's in the ayats to the terminology that's used in Dianetics to make a marriage to show that what the minister gave us is 100% right and exact. The tech
Yes.
already belongs to us, but remember, we it's English C lesson number one. The uncle, he doesn't speak his own language, does he?
No.
No.
So
Really.
the
No.
fact that we don't know Arabic, it limits our understanding. But when we go back into our original language and then look at the Arabic of the Holy Quran, it takes us deeper into all things. but we have to look at it through the lens of our original language, which we are taught is Arabic, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the Arabic because L. Ron Hubbard did study the Holy Quran. I've already verified that through Scientologists. The Holy Quran is one of the books that he did study.
Yes.
I have that as an actual fact. And if you look at page 99 of Science of Survival, and you look at Surah 47, ayat number 30, what they say is 100% identical. That's not a coincidence.
You said page 99 of.
You got your Science of Survival handy, Sister Patricia?
I can get it.
Yeah, get your Science of Survival real quick. Now, while you're doing that, I need someone else to open the Quran to Surah 47, ayat number 30. And we'll do a quick comparison and we'll end it.
Okay, you said Science of Survival, page 99?
Page 99, first paragraph. All we need is the first paragraph.
Okay.
And 4730?
And then once she reads that, then I need you to read 4730. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Sister Patricia.
Page 99, Science of Survival. Probably the most accurate index for the auditor of the pre-clear's position on the tone scale is speech.
Okay, that's all we need. Now, that's column K, isn't it?
Yes.
That's column K. Now watch. Now, either all this is coincidence or all this is by design. And we know there's no such thing as coincidence.
I think it's a coincidence. That's right.
Now, the best index is tone of speech, right? Now, when you look at that tone scale, when you're 3.0 and above, and you go across the chart, you have individuals that are talking in past, present, and future perfect tense. Now, that's from our lessons, right?
Yes, sir.
Speaking past, present, and future tense being perfect means you're talking about things that you have accomplished. You're talking about cycles of action that are completed, correct?
Yes.
Makes sense? When you speak, now this
Yes.
is from grammar. Perfect tense is you're speaking about actions that have been completed. Imperfect tense is when you speak about things that have not been done. I was going to read the book. I was thinking about paying the bill. Okay, that's an incomplete cycle of action. And L. Ron Hubbard says that's called a cycle of failure. And part of our aberration is if we look through the house, all the clutter that's in our house represents cycles of failures because we have 100 cycles of action we started, but we never completed it. It causes us a problem in our mind, so we break down and we don't want to do anything because we get overwhelmed with the randomness.
Good teaching. Good teaching.
Okay, so when you go to tone 2.5, which is boredom, that's like a person who they have the potential to speak, to carry out their actions, right? That's boredom. But an idle mind is a devil's workshop, but idle can be spelled IDLE or IDOL, correct? When you go 2.0 down to 1.1, these are individuals that are anti. They don't like people to accomplish. I don't want you to do. These are the ASPs, the antisocial personality, but ASP also spells asp, which is a snake.
Snake.
Yes.
And then 1.0 down to 0.5 are people that speak about what they can't do. So when you listen to a person, you can tell where they are on the tone scale. Either they can't do it, they don't like people doing it, or they can accomplish. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now who had Surah 47 handy?
I do, sir.
Okay, 47, ayat number 30. What does it say?
It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It says, and if we please, we could show them to thee so that thou shouldest know them by their marks. And certainly thou canst recognize them by the tone of their speech, and Allah knows your deeds.
Now, Brother Esau, is that the Scientology version of the Holy Quran, or is that the one we've had all these years?
That's the one we've had all these years.
Muhammad Ali translation, right?
Obviously, they matching up.
Okay, so now it says you will know them by their marks, by the tone of their speech, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is for you, Sister Patricia. The word marks in Arabic is Saum, S-A-U-M, and it also means suppression.
Wow. Wow.
So you can tell if a person is suppressed by the language they use.
Yes. Wow.
And that's called I think it's called 2-minute psychometry, right? You see where a person is on a tone scale, and then you match them, and then you have to slowly bring them up, right?
Okay. What verse was that, Brother Red?
4730.
4730. Thank you. Wow.
This is blowing my mind, brother.
Okay, so we'll end it on the minister's words, and then we'll close it out. But here's the clip. Let me pull this up. So this clip will be up and running on YouTube, God willing, within the next 20 minutes or half an hour. I'm gonna upload it immediately. But
Wonderful.
Say again.
Wonderful.
I said wonderful.
Oh, yes, ma'am. So go over section 5 in the Holy Qur'an where it says life after death, and we're gonna see if we can connect all of that and how it's connected to aberration and clearing. And that's what we'll
section 5 in what chapter? Section 5?
It's in the Holy Quran, Maulana Muhammad Ali translation, section 5 in the introduction. So in the introduction,
in the introduction. Okay.
It says life after death. It says death, a stage in evolution, and deals with the Book of Deeds, which is what we read today, the Book of Deeds. Over the next couple of weeks, God willing, we'll go into this and see if we can extract the principles of the tech as it is actually already in our Holy Quran. And it'll give us some more data to use as fuel to encourage believers to get into the study, because the day is coming when hell is going to be kindled, and we're going to need to either be able to straight wire ourselves or help our friends and family, because we got 3 long years coming before us, each year more difficult than the next after the minister's departure. We're going to need the tech and one another to be present at the other side of this thing, I believe.
The doctors.
And that's why the tech is going to be so important. We're about to go through hell. Book of Daniel, second chapter, and this is where we'll end it. It says that there were those that were in the oven of affliction, and there was one like the Son of Man in the oven with them, keeping it cool. In other words, we have to go through the trials, but if we have the tech, then we have the tools necessary to get rid of the grief and the anger, because we will be able to rise up into the mind of thinking of God and take a different viewpoint, and the trauma that's taking place won't affect us the same way. And we'll be able to see with a clearer vision how to navigate and to help other people get through. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. So with that, family, I pray Allah that we got something from this. It gave us some case gain, and we went up the tone scale, and whatever we were carrying when we got here, we are now flying a little bit higher.
Yes.
And inshallah, Sunday we'll go a little bit further and a little bit deeper into the Holy Quran and into the tech.
Praise be to Allah.
So let us go ahead and close out in prayer. Attention prayer. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. Master of the day of judgment in which we now live, thee alone do we serve, thine aid do we seek. Please Allah guide us on the straight path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray if they hear thy teaching. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum, family. May Allah continue to bless us in our study.
Walaikum salam.
Very, very good.